little Grateful Dead sound. I'm like,
A little up tempo, but
No spin, no script, just real folks talk. Science and politics, take their walk.
take that walk.
when those tough bills come up, you know.
Yeah. It took me like 30 songs to create the one that sounded closest to Grateful Dead,
Yeah,
by the
right.
way.
Well, welcome back. Another week down, man.
Yes.
How you
Episode
feeling?
85.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
We are drinking. Hey, thanks to Comer Distributing again for supplying the tasty beverage. Another one out of Dogfish Head Craft Brewery.
Yeah. The Juicy Pale Ale, Grateful Dead.
Yeah, and we were wondering, it's got the Grateful Dead logo on it. I wonder how they work that deal out,
Costs some money.
right?
Anybody want to put a Pints of Politics logo on your beer?
Tastes pretty good though, doesn't it?
Yeah. If they did that, will we have to drink it every week? That's the question.
Oh man, I don't know. That'd have to be really good beer like Bud Light for you. But
About to spit it out.
I tell you, we're out back again, and it's a little chillier
Yeah.
than it has been for the first part of the week. But the pollen is still ever present.
I had to put on the sport coat.
It's a little nipply out.
Yeah.
You know? But
Keep the ninny's hid.
yeah. All right, man. What's been going on this week?
Busy week this week.
I know, man. Literally, we talked about it in the midweek sip about how we're past the halfway point, and this is the time where if a bill has any hope of making it to become a law, it's got to be next week or the week after. It's got to be going through that subcommittee and getting out to the floor with any hopes of. And again, it may be a snowball's chance in hell, but at least there's hope, right?
You never know with the Senate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You had a big week this week.
a lot going on this week. Yeah, man. We had, for me, the floor highlight was passing House Bill 4767, I believe, and that was eliminating physician non-competes. Folks, this is just a market principle that I just believe in, right? I don't think that, especially physicians, because there is a public policy to this issue, because collectively, health care affects us all, and the greater flexibility I think that you give to our physicians, the greater access patients have here in our state. So I was a big advocate for this bill. This was my legislation during our freshman term. This also was a part of the repeal of Certificate of Need bill from our freshman year. Senator Tom Davis was a staunch advocate for this principle as well, and he had it in the Senate's version of the repeal of CON, but I think it got taken out during some negotiations. So I made it a standalone bill when I was a freshman, and then this term, Chair Lady Celeste Davis loved the idea so much she filed that, so she was the primary sponsor this year, and many others. I mean, there was a lot of folks on that bill. And it wasn't a caucus agenda item,
No.
and so, man, we had some great debate.
It was fun.
It really was. Everybody was just cut loose, and hey, go at it.
Yeah, you had Dems arguing against Dems,
Yeah.
Republicans arguing against Republicans.
Yeah, man.
It seemed like the room was kind of divided left and right, if you noticed.
Yeah, and so
You had the contract attorneys didn't want to take away their ability to write contracts for non-compete.
yeah, and that was the we weren't going up to the mic and saying this. I think someone did, who was an attorney, who was supportive of this bill, did come out and say, guys, there's a public policy of why attorneys can't sign or have non-competes, and there's also a public policy for physicians not to have non-competes as well in employment agreements. And the attorneys, some were with us, some weren't. Like Tommy Pope, Gil Gatch, they were with us. Bamberg and Todd Rutherford, who are Democrat attorneys, were with us. But then I think actually even Seth Rhodes voted against it, but then voted for it. But
I think McCravey ended up siding with us. Yeah.
Did he? And so that's what I'm saying. It was a mixed bag. It really, I thought it broke down more of your urban or your folks who were around urban centers that had bigger health systems.
Yeah.
And that was sort of the dividing line versus your
If you were in a
medium
rural
and
area.
rural markets, they just had this fear. And again, I don't agree, or I don't subscribe to that agreement that this bill all of a sudden threatens rural health.
Well, at the end of the day, we don't represent companies. We
Correct.
represent people.
Yeah, and so I know Representative Richie Yao had a lot of concerns. These were similar concerns he brought up during the repeal of Certificate of Need. He argued during the Certificate of Need debate, our freshman term, that if we repealed CON, it would just obliterate rural healthcare and rural hospitals.
His hospital's still there.
And yep, but again, my takeaway from it was that there's a lot of concerns about rural healthcare, and that needs to be addressed, right? And unbeknownst to Representative Yao, there's a lot of us working on that right now. And so I look forward to having those conversations with him and others. Justin Bamberg's from a rural area. And so I think healthcare is a good bipartisan issue, right? It impacts all of us here in the state. And so I look forward to having meaningful conversations with rural, also urban representatives from around the state to see how we can improve rural healthcare. So, but big win for the folks who were pushing for eliminating physician non-competes this week. Again, thank you for all those who helped out. Thank you for Chair Lady Davis for spearheading this effort, and thankful for staff too.
Yeah.
They worked hard on this as well. So just a big win. Another one that came out of the 3M that I wanted to just make a note of was a Senate bill that came over. I took it up in my medical subcommittee, and that was Senate Bill 449. This was a Chairman Danny Verdon out of the Senate. He's chair of medical affairs. He had a bill, and it was a collaborative practice bill that allowed pharmacists and your physicians to enter into collaborative practice agreements to where you don't have to keep going back to your physician when you get a drug prescribed to you, especially for like chronic conditions and things like that. The physician can work with your pharmacist without you going back to the physician every time if they got to up a dose, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or if a certain drug's not available, there's something in the same family. You know what I mean?
That would be good.
Yeah. And so, but what I thought improved that Senate bill was I amended it to also allow some test to treat language for simple, non-complex, low-risk tests like a flu test, a COVID test, the common cold, things of that nature, to where that what they call CLIA waive test, federal CLIA waive tests, where if you think you've got a sore throat and you think it may be the flu, you can go to just your neighborhood pharmacy. They can swab you, test it, and if it comes back positive for, say, the flu, they can give you the drug.
I'll tell you, that's the hardest thing right now. Whenever you get sick, trying to get in with your primary care physician.
Yeah.
It's almost faster to go to one of the pharmacies
Yeah.
that have these little clinics in them than it is being able to get into your primary care physician.
I was speaking with my sister this morning, actually, and she was telling me how frustrated she got because she got the flu, and the original pharmacy that the doctor sent her prescription to, which is her regular one, didn't have the drug that she needed, and it happened right on the weekend, and she can't get it until Monday. And I was like, man, that sucks, because if it's the flu and you could go to just another pharmacy and get swabbed there and get that treatment and drug there.
Might be over it by then.
Right. And so again, this is all about maintaining quality, but increasing convenience and access for patients, right?
Yeah.
So that was sort of the general theme of the bill. So those were my two legislative highlights, just personally speaking. I know we had some others.
Yeah. Gary Brewer had a big week.
Yeah. I know he's been working on some insurance reform with the insurance ad hoc. You were on that.
Yeah.
And that went back through LCI, which you're a member of. And so I know the LCI is going to be presenting, I think, next week, that insurance reform bill. So look forward to that. But he also had the boat tax bill that originated in the House come back from the Senate.
Yeah.
And he asked
Huge
us,
win.
Yeah, he asked us to concur with those amendments. And so basically, folks, that's going to cut your boat taxes in half.
Yeah.
And also,
No longer will you be taxed on the motor and the hull.
right.
Like everyone says, what about my car? What about my camper? And you're not getting taxed on the motor
Correct.
and the hull.
Yeah, so basically one boat, one bill.
Right.
Right. And so that's the simple ways that voters should understand this. And look, I'm not rich like Gary Brewer, so I don't have a boat. So I didn't even understand.
Because you're not a contractor like Gary.
I didn't even understand. I didn't even know that that's the way the tax system worked for boats
Yeah.
until Gary started bringing it up last year. I'm like, wait, what? I was like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. And he was like, yeah, I know.
Gary's been born with a silver spoon in his mouth. I mean, we found that out this week as it was his birthday, and a picture was put up showing
Yeah.
where he used to model.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
Forget about it.
I was really anticipating, and see, I missed that happy birthday wish to Gary Brewer.
You were in the Senate.
Because I was out preparing for the floor debate and stuff for the bills I was throwing up there. But where was the picture with him eating the banana with the spoon?
Yeah.
That's what I
Cody,
was really,
you dropped the ball.
I was really anticipating that, and I was like, "Good job, Representative Mitchell." Oh no, swing and miss.
We got Brian Lawson's birthday coming up this week.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, we need a good photo of Lawson. I bet at 9 his hair still looked the same.
Hey, someone needs to make a call to his wife. To get some,
Yes.
get some family photos. But yeah, so yeah, boat tax. Was there any other big stuff that you can remember? Oh,
Shazam come out of committee.
Yep. Let me just quickly. We also passed MedMal
Yep.
reforms, so that was a good thing. We
Partial tort reform.
yeah. So that we raised the caps on per occurrence, which we haven't raised I think since like early 2000s. So taking into account for inflation, those types of things. But we also further clarified what an occurrence is, referring back to a specific incident. So that was key for hospitals and medical facilities.
Well, and I'll tell you, while we're on medical, we expanded this to the veterans. $47.99 was the Veterans Home exemption bill.
Yep, I think that was Representative Cox. That came out of his military subcommittees.
Yep.
Because we had to pass that out in 3M full. So yeah, this is a very similar concept that we had to deal with when we were repealing the certificate of need. Due to the way that long-term care providers are compensated, they all asked to stay in the current system, and the veteran homes were asking the same thing.
Yes.
So we obliged. We listened to all the stakeholders, and everybody agreed. And so that's what's best for the industry and also for folks who need that type of care. And so we passed that bill.
Yep. And before we even talk about Shazam, I got to talk about the social media trials this week.
Oh,
You want to do that next segment, or you want to get on that now?
No. I think
So
that and the Shazam is all sort of related.
yeah, so we had a New Mexico hearing against big tech. I think it was $375 million, stating that they are responsible for addicting kids onto social media. Then we had the massive trial, which my case is caught up in the Ninth Circuit in California. That case went through. They deliberated for almost a week and came back, and they found that Meta and YouTube were both responsible for knowing that they were addicting children beyond the age. And
Oh, wow.
it was $3 million just in damages, and then $3 million for the intentional damages is the simplistic term.
Okay.
So $6 million total. I'm sure these will be repealed, but these are historical court cases. For the first time, social media or big tech has been proven. Everything that they testified in Congress to say that we're not responsible, but since we were able to get discovery, we were able to prove that they were fully aware of what they were doing and the harms that they were causing.
Oh, wow.
And it's perfect timing because the social media addictive Shazam.
Yeah,
I'll
just call it
put that way.
Shazam. Hey, so wait a minute. I want to make sure I understood that. Did you say 3 million?
3 million, and then an additional 3 million. And
Was that a class action?
it will be. Well, it is. Those were the bellwether cases.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure out, is it 3 million per person at the class?
Yes.
Okay.
$3 million and then $3 million in additional damages on top of it.
And were you involved? Was your case involved with
My
that?
case is involved in it. Now, what that will do is it will open up, I guess, room for discussions about settlements with the families that currently have files. But what Big Tech is really doing, instead of even going that route, they're too busy buying off our Congress members to put in language to make it to where they can't be held responsible. So it's
That's
pretty
fantastic.
funny as we're seeing this on the federal level and the language. Now they're trying to push for these social media bills, but they want this preemptive language in there. That way they can't be held financially responsible.
Man, I tell you, if your congressperson or your senator is not supporting the citizens of our country, and they're putting a large business and their donations above the people's interest, they need to be fired, folks. So pay attention to what your elected officials are doing. That pisses me off.
I got a phone call from D.C., I think it was Wednesday night. I posted, Mark Zuckerberg came in to meet with Speaker Mike Johnson. And all of a sudden, he gets a meeting. But yet, the parents that have lost children have been trying to get meetings consistently, and you have to fight to get a meeting with a staff member, and yet you will take a meeting on a whim with the person responsible for killing your kids. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
If you don't think that your vote's being bought, pay attention. That's about all I'll say about that.
Yeah. God almighty, man.
In the words of Forrest Gump, that's all I got to say about that.
All right, so
But we've got the Stop Addictive Harms social media bill, the Shazam Act, which we are aiming to be a model policy. We have passed it out of full committee. I addressed a couple of the concerns with members that had concerns, even though they didn't vote against it. I did talk to those members that brought up the concerns during the judiciary hearing, and it will go to the floor this week.
Okay, and we've talked about this before, but this is basically where, how does it stop someone for that constant, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the biggest thing is it requires, if you know that this is a person under the age of 16, which we're not saying you have to age verify, we're saying you use your own information. You use your own algorithms that you have in place, and it's a 3-tier process to confirm the age based on what you are collecting data-wise. So we're not requiring you to age verify. However, if you say, well, we don't have that, and then it's proven that you do, now you can be held liable.
Okay, gotcha.
But if you're aware that this person is under the age of 16, instead of reels constantly playing, like you go to sleep and you have all these reels playing, or you're on your phone for 2 hours, it automatically makes you where you have to hit next.
Yeah.
That is the primary.
Okay. And is it just me, or if you do fall asleep watching a reel, if you fall asleep, does it mess with your alarm? Have y'all ever noticed that?
I don't fall asleep watching reels.
Oh, no?
No.
Oh, man. I'll do that all the time, like a Sean Ryan that's like,
Yeah.
long 12
one.
minutes or something. And, it always...
No, I've gotten to the point to where I turn my phone off.
Oh, yeah. Get that 432 hertz,
Yeah.
that sound wave stuff. So you
I don't
can
put
just drift
anything
right
on the
off.
phone. I turn it off. I used to fall asleep listening to music, but yeah, I think it does mess with your alarm.
Yeah.
So
I think it does, too.
I prefer the silence.
So that's why I've been in support of this bill.
Yeah. But, I mean, the biggest thing is it's going to protect them from the algorithms of
100%.
forcing as well,
Yeah.
because it's showing that their data. And
Well,
it's,
and let's talk about this too, because look, folks, government can do everything it can to protect children in the public health interest of our young folks. But at some point, parents, you have to parent your child. And I will say this, I have found, whether it's volunteering for church activities, school activities, or whatever, there is not a universal sort of respect from a kid to, say, a teacher, or a kid to a chaperone, okay? So I would always try to establish, and I've tried to establish it in my home. I recommend folks do the same. And again, it doesn't have to be the same, right? But the phones need to be out of child's hand on a school night, 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, depending on the age of the child. But I got a kid in high school where her stuff goes off at 9. It probably should be earlier, really, so she can sort of free her mind of all the
well, and
overstimulation
I
or
always
whatever.
recommend to parents to not allow your kids to have devices in private spaces.
Oh, no.
Don't allow them to bring them into their
100%.
room. Don't allow them to bring them into their
It's
bedrooms.
kitchen, living room.
Right. It's
Yeah,
where the family's going to be.
100%.
And then the parents are more aware of how often
Yeah.
the child is on the phone.
Well, and the hardest thing for us is when, say, a new friend will come over and Emma's girlfriend don't know about the rules.
Got the phone in the
and I got to be
bedroom.
that guy. Hey,
Yeah.
so-and-so, give me your phone. They're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, we don't allow phones in the bedrooms or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so set clear guidelines when it comes to devices. Like if you're on a church trip, and I encountered this myself, we had young people with phones, no parental control, and it was midnight. And the kid's 13, 14 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you have no business, in running into this stuff where, again, I've got to be that sort of old curmudgeon dad. And I'm like, hey, that can't be in the bedroom. They're like, oh, my mom and dad say it has to be beside me. Because if they want to get in touch with me, they got to be able to call me. And my head's like, I'm the chaperone. What am I here for?
Right.
And your parents have my phone number. What are you talking about? So sometimes it's not the kid's fault, is what I'm saying. Sometimes it's the adults that should know better, but they don't. And they have this idea that if your kid goes on a trip, you've got to be able to get a hold of them right then and there. No, call the chaperone.
But it was the same problem we had with schools whenever we were initiating the bell-to-bell bans.
Yeah.
Parents are like, I want to be able to reach my child in the middle of the day. Well, how are our parents able to reach us?
Yeah, and again, I know it's an adjustment. Change is hard for some folks, but get real. You
Yeah.
do not need to be able to get a hold of your kid every minute of every day just because they got a phone. Especially if you're on a church trip or if you're on a school trip. You should feel comfortable with the school's chaperones, teachers, administrators, and if you're not, don't let them go. You know what I mean? But your
Or
child,
become one yourself.
right, when you trust your child to a teacher on a school trip or a pastor and the team of chaperones, you should trust those adults to watch after for the best interest of your child.
Man, it's hard for me to trust adults, period,
And
nowadays.
a lot of times, I'm the guy who's always like, hey, man, they don't need phones.
Yeah.
I'm that old curmudgeon, old grumpy old guy. And it's like, no, that's not okay.
But the
and-
kids, whenever they don't have their phones, actually are showing improvement.
Oh, man.
I mean, there's been so much coming out here lately about this is the first generation to actually regress. And they're thinking it's
yeah,
due
right.
to the doom scrolling.
Yeah. So,
Right.
so again, this ain't just a young person problem. This is an adult parent problem too. Like we've got to take some responsibility in this problem of devices and social media and the damage it's doing to our kids, not just our own kids, but other people's kids too.
Right.
Like that's our responsibility. That's our fault. We have a part to play in taking care of the welfare of our young people. And you got to start at home. You got to. The government's there to support and sort of push back the big business, right? And fight them. But you've got to parent your own kids. So
Yeah.
that's my soapbox. Sorry.
And at the end of the week, just to keep it all in the tech realm, I had to drive down to Hilton Head, South Carolina, and I had to drive the old school Struggle Bus 2.0.
Yeah.
Which it only goes about 60, and if these big trucks pull up behind me, it pulls away the airflow, which causes it to overheat, and then I have to pull over. I broke down like 3 times on the way down there, and it's a 2.5 hour trip
Yeah.
from Columbia.
Man, so like every 80 miles, you're looking for a Buc-ee's to pull off in,
No, I'm just pulling off on the interstate. I sit and
let her
chill
cool
for a
down.
little bit, let her cool down. I pet her, make sure she's all right, and then
Yeah.
we get going again. But yeah, I had to drive that down, and that was for the National Center of Education, Research, and Technology, which was superintendents from the entire country coming in
Oh, wow.
that can work together. So I was able to talk to these superintendents. I'm going to be speaking in a few other states with these school districts as well,
Love it.
trying to
Love it.
spread the word. But this whole weekend was all about this.
Representative Brandon Guffey, keynote speaker, leading the effort.
I just can't-
Educators
Hey,
are
y'all.
learning from this guy. So yeah, I did have a good opportunity to talk to some pediatricians this week. Senator Russell Ott and I kicked off the conversation with, I believe it was the American Academy of Pediatricians.
I got to interrupt you real quick.
Yeah. Oh, whoa.
Okay.
MVP Russell Ott.
Yeah, how the hell do you get an MVP and you didn't even win the game?
Hey, if you're batting 1,000, it's hard to compete with that. But we'll get back to that in a second. But yeah, so Senator Russell Ott and I had a good conversation, I thought, with the pediatricians from around the state. Also, Senator Josh Kimbrell dropped in, and it was funny because the first part of our discussion was in regards to vaccines. How do you balance parental rights and personal sort of privacy to public health interest, right? And how do you balance those things? And the measles stuff
It's all
came
in
up,
Kimbrell's district.
which is all in Senator Kimbrell's district over there in Spartanburg. And so he missed part of that conversation.
Is it all on Rob Harris's compound, or is it?
No. But anyway, Senator Kimbrell joined us. But good, thoughtful discussions. And, one of the questions was one takeaway for these pediatricians to go back to their hometowns. What is it? And I told them, I was like, hey, we got to start having real conversations, right? Like public health shouldn't be a political hot button issue, right? It should be based on evidence, not medical orthodoxy. And we got to be able to admit that. We got to be able to sit around a table and have hard conversations, real conversations, to push the ball forward and advance public health in our state. So
You mean common sense?
I tell you, I get a lot of compliments that hey, you sound like common sense normal and very genuine. I'm like, it's because I am. I mean, I'm serious. We got to have these conversations. But yeah, very thankful for that invite. Good discussions with Senator.
So you had your
Senator
press
Kimbrell.
conference this week.
Yeah,
That's what I'm hearing.
Hey, I'm learning, baby.
We also had one more big one.
Mm-hmm.
Our porch caucus seemed to do very well this week. You had David Martin's street takeover bill come out
Yeah,
of
yep.
committee, which is huge, which will make it illegal for these street takeovers. He had it happen in his district.
Yeah.
And he's talked about it on here.
Yeah, that happens probably more in Fort Mill than it does in Rock Hill.
Yeah, we ain't putting up with it in Rock Hill.
But also Representative Lawson.
Yeah, Lawson
He
had
the
his.
defibrillator.
Yes.
So
Smart Heart, I think is what they called it.
Yeah.
So it was a big week for
So
all of us that kind of come up together.
yeah. So Lawson
getting legislation.
Brewer,
I had out of committee. David had out of committee. You
Yep.
and Cox.
Yeah, Representative
and-
Cox with the
yeah.
CON.
So
Yeah. So
big week.
High five, Porch Cox.
Where you at, Cody?
This episode of Pints of Politics is brought to you by Comer Distributing. Comer Distributing Company is a wholesale beer distributor located in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Founded in 1971, Comer is a family-owned business that distributes beer and other beverages to York, Chester, Fairfield, Lancaster, Kershaw, Lexington, and Richland counties.
Real talk flowing one sip at a time. Politics, let it roll on. Truth in the glass till the night is gone.
Like it.
Yeah, man.
Little
All right.
upbeat country.
So I wanted to bring up something that got brought up on the floor a few times where we were in a time of
Adjust my mic like
unanimous-
Elizabeth in. Sorry.
And again, I don't know what the term is, but it's whether it's unanimous consent or whatever. But there was a few members who, and I want to say it was Representative Jordan Pace maybe, or Representative Rob Harris. I can't remember. And so, guys, forgive me if I got this mixed up a little bit.
Unanimous consent,
Yep.
period.
Yep. And they asked for a bill to be called up.
Rob Harris asked for the closed primaries to be brought up.
And Jay Jordan objected, maybe, or somebody. But I want to focus on the temporary suspension of the gas tax.
Yes. I think that was actually Mark Smith running for Congress.
Was it?
He brought it up.
Okay. And one of the bills was for a suspension of the gas tax with no sort of end, right? And that got objected to by a Ways and Means member because that bill's in Ways and Means. And then another member got up and tried to bring up another one, which was a 30-day suspension of the gas tax, which I think
Sounds good on paper.
well, right. That's the one that I think more people were like, why didn't we just consider it, right? Well, I mean, besides the obvious, well, it hasn't been vetted, right? It didn't go through Ways and Means subcommittee and then full committee and then out to the floor, right? So it would probably involve a lot.
Because it would take
of,
a lot more than 30 days to do so.
right. But I wanted to talk about what that would actually mean, right? So if we brought, and let's just talk about the temporary 30-day, right? So if we were to pull a bill up that suspended the state's gas tax, and I want to say it's 28 cents or so, 28 and some fractions cents per gallon. If we were to do that, how that would impact the state, right? So doing a little bit of math and talking to some DOT folks that day when it came up, the estimates were, and again, this is average, the estimates were that it would save folks about $16 or $17, right? South Carolinians would save $16, $17 if we were to pass a bill like that.
Yeah.
And so you're like, well, that's not as much as I thought, right? But the other side of that is,
We're going into tourist season.
right. Well, there's the other side of that. If you were to suspend the state's gas tax, how does that impact road funding? How does that impact construction jobs to improve our highways, repave, resurface, all the, widen existing roads? What would that mean for that? And
Which that's all we hear from all the gubernatorial candidates.
fix the dang roads, right?
Yeah.
And we're trying, right?
Some of them were in office and could have fixed the roads and chose not to.
Again, try not to throw it. But did you realize that if we were to suspend the gas tax for 30 days, that impact to funding the DOT would be $95 million? Yeah.
Sounds like we shouldn't have any problem with any roads if it's that much.
$95 million. And so, and again, I asked DOT, I was like, how long could we afford? They're like, it's not like we have money sitting around to fund these existing projects and operations. And so 30 days may end up stalling some things. They can't, this was a hypothetical that I threw out to them.
Now, I will say gas has gotten ridiculous. As I'm
Yes.
driving the Struggle Bus 2.0, and I've been used to driving the electric version, I actually started paying attention to gas prices
And
again.
and that's diesel, right? That
No, it's
Volkswagen?
gas. It's
okay.
regular
It's
gas,
regular
but
gas,
you have to
okay.
run non-ethanol. So you're looking at $5 a gallon.
Oh, yeah. You're
Yeah.
back to paying like over 100. Well, not you, but
Yeah.
I am. The size of my tank, and I'm diesel. Yeah, I'm paying 100,
Not
110 bucks.
not all of us need large tanks.
Yeah,
Fill 'em
that's
for it.
right. That's right. so again, and this will continue to probably come up, and we should have conversations about it. But those unanimous consent requests on the floor got me thinking, and so I wanted our two listeners to consider the same thing. Folks, you can't have both, right? You either want to improve road infrastructure, roads and bridges, fund them, or you want to suspend the gas tax for 30 days or infinite, however long this spike in gas prices. But you can't do both, right? And
The
so,
only thing I like about the gas tax is it's not just on citizens. The libertarian in me always likes a consumption-based tax
Yeah.
as opposed to a standard tax because that way other people are paying for it. All these tourists that are going to Myrtle Beach.
all these renters,
Yeah.
it's like they're paying your mortgage.
Yes.
Yeah, same thing.
And it keeps our locals without having to pay as much.
Yeah, that's right. It offsets the liabilities to where tourists who are coming to our state help pay for our roads and bridges. And again, while it's a novel concept and one that we should explore, I just don't think it's the end all be all for now. Again, we're in campaign season, so I don't know if that's why this got brought up, but it's something to consider. But at the end of the day, I was like, we should hold off skipping the committee process, right? This is an idea that's worthy of some debate, but it should go through the proper processes. Of
I signed on
subcommittee.
to the bill. I just didn't. I mean,
Yeah, you
really
weren't
only
asking.
takes one person to object
Yeah, right.
to the unanimous consent request.
You weren't
which-
asking for a
Which,
fast pass.
what I find is so funny, like you brought up Rob Harris. It doesn't matter what the unanimous consent is. Rob Harris is the one that always objects. So why would he even propose something if he's going to object it? He's like, no, it should go through the committee process. Every time he's like, I got a unanimous consent request.
And actually, I think John King might have been the one who objected, maybe because of that principle. I don't know. But so yeah, that was something I wanted to bring up because it got me thinking, and I was like, hey, you know what? We should probably educate our folks on, why this got asked of the body to consider,
That's why Heath is doing all the talking, because you need educating.
why it was objected to, and then both sides of that argument, right? So, but at the end of the day, it's the intent probably of the bill is a good one, right?
Yeah.
Our folks are struggling. Times are hard. Gas prices are up. Let's see what we can do to ease the pain of the people of South Carolina, right? Their pocketbooks. And I get it. So
But all that's due to the Iran situation going on right now.
the Iran. Yep.
The Iran situation going on. That's what I meant.
Yep.
Yeah. They'll speed it up. Don't worry about it.
So in talking about that, I also wanted to talk about the governor's race. So we've got, what now on the Republican side?
Yeah. We've only got until Monday at noon, which this will come out afterwards.
Yep.
And has everyone filed?
Yeah. Everyone has filed. Josh Kimbrell filed.
Rom filed.
Yep.
Nancy filed.
Yeah. Alan
Pam and Alan
Pam.
and Ralph.
Yeah. And there was a poll that got thrown out there. And I believe, I don't remember the folks who did the poll, but I did find it interesting. Here were the numbers from that poll. Pam Yvette with 19%, Nancy Mace coming in second with 18%, Alan Wilson with 15%, Ralph Norman at 13%, Ron Reddy with 5%, and Josh Kimbrell with 1%. You know who the largest percentage where voters were?
What?
Undecided. 30%.
Yeah.
And so I think that just tells you the state of this race.
It's anybody's.
As far as choosing the Republican nominee. While there are some name recognition in the Wilsons and the Maces and the Yvettes, 30% is still undecided. And from here on out, it's going to be anybody's race.
It's going to get nasty. As Fitz News says, knives out. Right?
Yep. So, folks, again, we're going to try to have the candidates on. We have had our Lieutenant Governor, Pam Yvette, who's running for governor, on. And, man, I tell you, it's hard to get on everybody's schedule.
Well, and to fit within our schedule, too.
I know.
Because we were going to stay Thursday and try to have
Yep.
some people on, and it was just too much. We had a long Thursday to begin with.
Yeah.
And then I had to be in Hilton Head. I had to speak on Friday morning.
press conference.
I didn't get to Hilton Head until like 11 p.m. So it was a struggle.
Yeah. No, it was. So there was that. Was there anything else that? Oh, we also had some breaking news. Lucas Atkinson.
Troubling news.
No, not troubling. Lucas Atkinson's been a member of the House for, what, 4 or 5 terms now?
I'm not sure.
And
He's been there as long as we have, at least.
Yeah. And he's over out of the PD region, and he's been a Democrat.
But he's always been one of those
he's been
blue
the most
dog
conservative.
Democrats.
The most
Yeah.
conservative. He actually voted.
Him and Coach are pretty much
Yeah.
moderate Republicans in their voting.
Right. And he voted for the heartbeat bill. He was one of 2 Democrats who voted for the heartbeat bill the last term. And, I think he's probably been considering this for a while, but made it official when he went and filed to run for re-election, but in the Republican primary.
Yeah. And I don't
so-
even know if he's got a Democrat.
And
Maybe I
wow.
need to look that up.
I didn't realize this was like that big of news, but it seemed some folks really wanted to make an issue of it.
Yeah, I mean, we seen Adam Morgan. He's the guy
Co-founder.
that just him
of
and
the same
RJ.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'll leave that alone.
Thank you.
I'm not going to take the alley-oops here.
Yep.
But anyway, Adam Morgan decides who started doing a radio show up in the upstate.
Yeah.
And now he decides that he wants to start bashing Lucas about changing parties. But if I'm not mistaken, he's the same guy that is supporting Pasco. I don't think Lucas endorsed Joe Biden or Kamala. But I mean, how do you bash one without saying something about the other? You know, it's funny.
This is the wild thing to me.
Selective outrage.
It is incredible. And look, folks, we're all professional hypocrites, okay? I'll be the first to admit that
I disagree.
I'm just saying. So I will sit right along with everyone else who in life has found themselves being like, damn. I used to be on the other side of this, and now I'm on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it just
Well, that's
happens,
just
folks.
called getting education.
And so
Understanding an issue a little bit better. You think that you know everything, and then you find out new information. What type of person are you if you don't
learn.
change your opinion and learn?
And again,
Right?
I'm not saying that I change everything about. I'm just telling the two listeners that I have in my life changed my mind. And that's why I'm making the joke of we're all professional hypocrites. And to say that you've never done that, you're full of shit. That's all I'm saying. And
Well, I don't think changing your mind makes you a hypocrite.
I'm
Being
ju-
a
that's-
hypocrite
I'm kind of
is-
joking. I'm just
okay.
saying it drives me crazy. Like, my question is, how does Adam Morgan know everything? How is he always right? You know what I mean? And that's what he's selling.
Is he?
He is selling that he doesn't make mistakes. And he is always right. And I'm just telling you.
And as someone with a Christian book company, you
anyone
kind of think
who is
that's wrong.
selling that, they're full of shit. They are full of shit.
Yes.
And man, that pisses me off. And I just look on this podcast, we're going to keep it real. And
Well, and
that
I've said
is
it many times before.
frustrating as hell.
Adam was the guy that I looked up to the most whenever I got elected.
I remember we both came
I
in
thought
and-
he was the guy fighting the right fight, and it didn't take but about 2 weeks until he lied to me. And it was
again,
like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, Guffey, it don't matter. It don't matter. And then he goes and posts on social media blasting everyone.
yeah,
I'm like, what the hell?
yep.
It's
Say one thing, do something else.
right. Or whenever he said, Mr. DeSantis, I would love to support you, but my constituents would really eat me up on it. And I said, well, whenever your balls drop, maybe you can step up and stand up.
But listen, I'm not attacking him. All I'm saying is he seems to make a big deal about a representative at the PD region deciding to say, you know what? Look at my voting record. I'm voting more with the Republican caucus than I am the Democratic caucus.
He just sells outrage.
I don't
That is what he's good at.
I don't share the values of the Democratic Party anymore. And he's admitting it, and he is
He's saying the
changing-
Democratic Party left me, which is the same thing that
Right.
David Pasco said,
Yeah.
right?
But Adam Morgan chooses to support one and not the other. He acclaims one and criticizes the other. And folks, all I'm saying is 2 + 2 = 4. But in Adam Morgan's world, 2 + 2 = Jell-O. And that doesn't make any sense.
It equals not good enough.
And I'm tired of it, man. I'm just really tired of it. Adam Morgan used to be a House rep. He is now finding himself a new media, right? He's hosting a radio program. Have at it. Have fun with that. Do that. But look, he's doing this for a reason. He's doing it for a reason. Well, you're making the money sign, that Johnny Manziel sign.
I got to get that money.
But anyway, that's
Yeah.
God dog. I seem to be getting on my soapbox more on this episode than most.
than I normally do, right?
Yeah.
Well, in our races in York County,
Yeah.
and I'm not pulling up all the counties. Apologize for all the representatives that have challengers coming up and others, but just looking at filing, and we're only half of a day away to see who's going to file. But our representative David Barton in Fort Mill has Kyril Mace with the Workers' Party, Enns with the Republican Party, and Jenny Desch with the Democratic Party, all running against him. You have a Democratic challenger in Omar McCrory. Tommy Pope has 2 Democratic challengers, and Peter Martinez and Justin Bennett. I've got a Democrat challenger in Rustin Terry. John King, a Democrat, has a Democratic challenger in Perry Sutton. And then Jackie Terrabill has a Democratic challenger in Heather Hart. So we
Okay.
all kind of call Democratic challengers
Yeah.
this session, except for Ligon. I think he might be the only one I don't see within our delegation
With no challenger.
that doesn't have a challenger yet.
Yeah. Well, and
So-
Representative Ligon's doing a good job representing that district.
Yes.
Again, there's still a few more hours. And a lot of times that's where you see those last minute.
Well, I actually had a conversation with my challenger. So, I'd met him at a Moped to Memphis fundraiser, which raises money for St. Jude's. And he sent me a text and asked me to reach out. And so I called him one day, and, he thanked me for my work on protecting children online and said that he really admires the work that I've done on that. And I said, well, is there a reason that you're choosing to challenge me? And
Yeah.
he said, basically just standard Democrat, Republican issues.
Okay.
And, our goal is to keep it cordial. We can disagree on issues,
Right.
not attack one another. We'll see how that goes because, as we know, races tend to change.
They do. And I don't know my challenger, but I think you said you went to school.
I
with
went
him,
to
maybe?
school with Omar,
Okay.
myself, and Justin Smith. We went to high school with Omar and played football
Okay.
with him.
What industry is he in? Like, what's he do for a living? You know?
I don't know. I think
Okay.
he's a veteran,
Okay.
or I think he. Yeah, I don't want to give false information, so I'm not going to get too much into it.
Well, if he's a
But
veteran,
I think he
thank you for his
joined the
service.
military and then came back, and he's not very vocal.
Okay.
I hadn't seen much from him.
Yeah, and I think he did he post on Facebook?
My understanding was he wasn't even going to file against you. He wanted to run against Bump Roddy, who was our football coach. That's the funny thing.
So it's like an old football thing.
Yeah, but evidently
he
he
found
didn't
out,
live in the district.
and now I have a challenge.
So he said God was pointing him to run for Congress, which this is a state house position, but still.
Hey,
So he filed against you. It'd be like that sometimes.
yeah. Well, maybe I can get his number and I'll reach out to him as well.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, man. I mean, I think it'll make it a good race. I've always said competition improves, the market. I think it improves you and I. So it'll be a fun race.
Yeah. Well, he's still got a little bit of time. Other people can still file.
Yeah. What you got next week?
2 LCI dinners, 6 press conferences. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I do have an LCI dinner.
Yep.
Of course, we have insurance, the insurance ad hoc committee.
Yeah.
That should come up along with Shazam. Will be on the floor.
Oh, nice.
So that will be a good one. And I ended up getting Jason Elliott to file the companion bill
Okay.
on the Senate side, trying to speed things up a little bit. It seems like everything that dies seems to get stuck in judiciary in the Senate.
Yeah. Right.
I even had a conversation with Weston Newton this week because I don't see how he does it. There's over 500 bills that have been filed to
Yeah.
go to his committee.
Yeah. 100%.
Like, I don't know how you don't stroke out trying to get everything through. And I was just like, hey, man, like, I don't know how you do it, but if there's
Yeah.
anything I can do to help you, let me know.
Yeah, I know, and especially him being judiciary chair, everything in regards to tort reform,
All the big issues are going through judiciary right now.
right, criminal penalties, liquor liability, if you even want to address that again. So yeah, and I did introduce a tort reform bill that it was part of S-244 from last year, which it basically says that if a bartender serves someone who is visibly intoxicated, it opens them up for, liability. I think right now the environment is just too lenient, where it allows someone who makes some personal bad choices to then go get in an automobile and go hurt someone else and then that victim goes and sues the bar or the bartender or the insurance policy held by that small business.
Right.
And I throw out a hypothetical of, if someone goes to a restaurant and has 8 Jack and Cokes and then goes to another bar or restaurant and has a beer, walks out, gets in their car, drives off and hits somebody, the bar that only served him a beer
They can serve both of them.
could
Yeah.
be held liable.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's right. And so at the end of the day,
Well, and now that we're talking about THC drinks, that might take 30, 45 minutes to kick in
well,
as well.
that's why part of the reason the Senate amended it for no on-premise consumption, right? So maybe that's one of the reasons. But back to that hypothetical of the bar selling just one beer, if the person isn't visibly intoxicated, and the server or the bartender has been through all of the serve safe, all the training, scans their ID, how are they going to be liable for over 50%? You know what I mean?
Right.
And so at the end
Well,
of
and
the day,
they don't have to tell one that they've already held another bar liable.
So
that makes it difficult.
My general intent of any kind of tort reform bill is for the folks who are responsible, they should be held liable, right? For the folks who aren't responsible, or maybe they're 20% responsible, they should have an equal liability assigned to them in a court case. And again, I hear it from the trial attorneys who are representing these victims. They're not bad people. They're saying, like, well, what's the victim supposed to do if we can't reach the other person, or we can't reach? And I'm like, man, I don't know. I don't have the answer for that.
Well,
All I'm saying is you cannot hold someone who is not responsible liable for someone else's responsibility like that. You can't do that. And so I know that doesn't sit well with a victim or a victim's family, and the government doesn't have the answer for that.
But at the end of the day, it is the people that decide on that case.
Yes.
It is a jury trial for the most part that's going to decide whether this company is liable. As someone that is suing a company,
Yeah.
due to
As long
liability-
as the jury has all the information.
yeah,
A lot of times, a jury,
is not allowed to have the information that another bar was held responsible.
that
as
is
well.
correct.
Yeah,
That is correct.
but ultimately, at the end of the day, and this boils down to it drives me crazy on insurance as a whole. And it's not about the insurance, but if we look at healthcare, we sit there and complain about Obamacare.
Mm-hmm.
The more government gets involved, the more it's going to cause problems. This supposedly became a problem in 2017 whenever we rewrote the law.
We made the change of every bar and restaurant.
Has to carry $1 million minimum liability.
The pot of gold at the end of the rainbow got bigger.
I personally believe that you should not be required to carry insurance as a restaurant or a bar or as a small business owner. But if you're willing to put your house on the line and be held liable, then that's your own fault. Insurance should be a risk. You're hedging your bets that if this happens, that's the reason I have insurance. And that is what, at the end of the day, that's the reason they're going to want to make money.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
insurance is an industry. It's got to end up, it's essentially betting on whether you're going to screw up or not.
Well, I mean, that's basically what insurance is, right? They're pricing the
What do they
risk.
call them? Prediction markets.
But I mean, I do think that bars and restaurants, when they hold whether it's a beer and wine license or they hold a liquor license, I do think that they should have some minimum coverage, right? Go to the Department of Insurance. The average claim costs.
Why not require everybody that orders beer and wine to have insurance for it?
Well,
Yeah, I mean, where does
they
it
have-
stop?
They
That's
have
the
vehicle
point.
insurance, but all I'm saying is it doesn't have to be $1 million, right? So if the average claim is $235,000, and you're a bar or restaurant and you've been operating for 5 years, let's say, and you don't have a claim, well, my policy should reflect that, right? So reward the good actors.
It depends on the
Now-
prediction. The prediction market says, well, other bars and restaurants like you have
Now,
had claims.
You stay open until 4 a.m. and you've had 15 claims against you and you've only been open in the last 2 or 3 years, your insurance premium should, you know what I mean? And so, speaking of healthcare, that's why
See, I would think it would go down because less people's on the road at 4 a.m.
that's why that's the problem with Obamacare, right? Was because you can't have high risk pools anymore. You got to throw everybody in the same pool, and then good actors are paying for the bad actors in regards to healthcare.
So it's
insurance.
Obamacare for bars, regardless of how we want to say it. Right?
I think we did coin that term, right? Freshman
That was a
term.
few years ago.
Yeah. So, yeah, looking forward to next week. I do have an ivermectin bill that was on the uncontested calendar, got moved to the contested calendar. I anticipate
Good debate.
some robust debate on that.
It's not a caucus item.
Yeah, and again, if this wasn't ivermectin and we were talking about Tylenol, I don't think there'd be a lot of push on this.
And there are far more deaths from Tylenol than there ever have been from
Hey, why are
ivermectin.
you stealing my talking points? I know.
My-
No. I'm saying that
It's
for the floor.
ridiculous. Yeah.
But I am sure, because I could tell the Democrats were all raising their hand wanting to debate this bill, and we got it in committee, and I saw some stuff on social media that, was a little troubling. I had a colleague who is on 3M call ivermectin a dangerous drug, and I was like,
I'm tired of lying to Tractor Supply to get my horse fast. I'd prefer it in a pill form.
and again, folks, ivermectin is a pretty, it's an extremely safe drug. Has no addiction risks, no adverse effects, all that kind of stuff. Now, if you mix it with alcohol and some other things, yeah, of course.
What?
But because some folks were self-diagnosing that ivermectin helped them with their personal experience with COVID, it infuriates some folks and insists that over-the-counter ivermectin is a bad idea. Now, we amended the bill in the 3M committee that basically said ivermectin can be sold over-the-counter, but by the pharmacist, right? So that way you got to go to the pharmacy, you got to ask for the ivermectin. If they sell it to you, they're going to educate you and give you sort of the disclaimer of, hey, don't mix this with this, don't mix this with that.
They don't tell me that at Tractor Supply. They
Yeah,
don't
that's
say
right.
you can't
That's right.
drink with
That's
this
right.
horse paste.
And so I'm more in favor of making more things over the counter, right? Because I want more convenience and patient access to drugs for some common things. But this ivermectin thing, I expect a lot of debate. But yeah, ivermectin's got a track record that I would put up against Tylenol.
Would you say anybody's ever died from it?
I think in the last 20 years, there's been, say, 10 or less who
From
have
ivermectin?
yes, yep, 10 or less.
So it's anti-parasitic.
That's right.
All it is.
That's it. The folks, the founders of ivermectin received the Nobel Prize for medicine. Okay, this is on and again, what I would consider a lot of Democrats support this organization, the World Health Organization. Ivermectin's on the top 10 most essential drugs, right? And again, I have a member in the body who's calling it a dangerous drug. So, again, I'm looking for evidence-based medicine. And again, if folks are dealing with whatever anti-parasitic stuff's going on with them and they want to take it, they go buy it from a pharmacy. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
There's little to no harm with taking it, even if you self-diagnosed incorrectly, right? There's little to no harm. It's not an addictive thing. So yeah, we're gonna have that debate. Looking forward to that. I'm sure we're gonna have members on both sides of that issue.
Yeah.
Come talk about it. I tell you what, another one that we need to make over the counter is Z-Packs. You know what I mean?
The problem with an antibiotic, though, becomes that.
Oh, I know, you overtake it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, and that's the reason we need things like Z-Pack now, is because doctors are giving them out too willy-nilly. Like, I know whenever I call my doctor down, I'm like, hey, I'm feeling kind of sick. Can you call me this in? And he's like, yeah, let's wait a couple of days.
Oh, really?
And he's like, we're finding that it's not as effective because people are building an immunity
right.
to it.
And you know what's wild is I've never taken a Z-Pack. But I have a lot of friends and
Oh,
relatives
I love them.
who are always calling their physician to say they need a
Yeah.
Z-Pack to knock out. And I'm like, I've never even taken that.
Yeah.
Because
Z-Pack is kind of like the catch-all, it seems like, of the antibiotic. So
Right.
it doesn't matter what you got. You take it, and then all of a sudden you feel better.
even if I have cold, flu, those types of symptoms, I've always just taken over-the-counter stuff. Sudafed, NyQuil, Dayquil, mixed in a little bit of ibuprofen or Tylenol, and,
No.
just have to.
If you take
Work
ivermectin,
through
do
it.
not drink with it. I learned that today.
Jeez. But yeah, that's all I got. One more thing I do want to add on a personal note. Ben, my son, gets to come down with his class.
Awesome.
Yeah, man, we're gonna have an advocacy day, recognizing his class and others from around the state.
Is that the Rock Hill School District thing that popped up on the calendar? Rock Hill School District 3?
Maybe. Yeah, so he's out at Dutchman, and so his class and others from around the state are coming down for a day of advocacy for folks with disabilities and special needs. And so I think my wife is going to be joining us.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. So Tuesday we're going to have a family day.
That's awesome.
Have Ben on the floor with us. He'll probably be running around giving high fives. So be ready to have fun with that.
Oh, I will. Love it whenever Ben comes into town.
Yeah, man. So
And I
so
think
yeah, man.
we've got cosmetologists coming in on Wednesday.
Hairdressers.
Hairdressers coming in on Wednesday.
There you go.
No nurses on Thursday. I don't know what's coming in Thursday, though.
I'm sure it'll be fun. But well, man, that's about all we got.
Yeah, I think that's it. I like the beer, though.
It is.
This might be one that I'm actually buying and keeping at the house now.
And great can art.
Yeah.
I know you're always a favor of gummy bear art and other things.
It fits the struggle bus.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for our sponsors.
Thank you for listening,
Yeah.
following, liking, pintsandpolitics.show. Follow us on all of our socials. We're even going to start trying to do a little bit of clips with the midweek sips. So thank all of you for your support and continue to support us, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I woke up to a headline, same lie, dress new, suit on the TV.